Hey, how you doing? This is Tom, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show. And I'm really getting into Christmas because I'm buying things I probably shouldn't buy. But I just like to get things that are bargain. And what I really like to do is pass it on to other people, which is becoming more and more difficult. They like come to me and then they like, I can't get rid of them. But anyway, I found this. I did a review of one of these that I've had for years that I got at a Hamfest or something that didn't work. And I found the identical one on eBay, and it was, from the pictures, it was in pristine condition. And I asked the seller, did it work? And they said, yeah, it worked. And so I thought, I've had the other one for years, and it didn't work when I got it. So I've always wondered, how did it work when it worked? Well, I've got one now, and it is working. Let me zoom in here so you can see the display a little better. I know this is not exciting because I already did a review of this. Well, I did a review of one not working. But this is I call it emergency CB radio. It's, I think it came out in the 1990s. And matter of fact, I don't want you to see it. I have the registration for the license that you had to have back then, and it was dated 1983. So the gentleman that owned this before filled out the temporary license paperwork, kept it with all the other paperwork, and he dated it November 1983. And he lived at that time in Ohio. So let me put that over there. I don't want you to see all this other information. But it's like brand new. I don't think he even used it. If he did, he really kept it up. I think the people that sold it got it at a garage sale or something, maybe an estate sale. It's got all the paperwork, including this little note here, place antenna on flat metal surface. There's the antenna right here. And what I've got it hooked up right now, and that's why this meter's here. I've got it hooked up to just a regulated power supply, DC power supply that's used to power things that you normally power with your vehicle. And so it's working. I did hit the transmit button, and my radio that's across the room did show a very strong signal. That's the much testing I've done. I can now show you some of the functions. So it comes with the DC cord that has a cigarette lighter plug on it. And then the other connection at the bottom is for the antenna. Antenna wire is kind of short. I would imagine that you could run the wire out a window and then stick this on top of your vehicle. It's got a mag mount, but the magnet is not very heavy, so I'm thinking it's not very strong. The antenna length is about 30 inches. One of my viewers who commented on the show I did before on this said that he had a problem with putting this on top of his vehicle and driving, and the magnet was not strong enough so it'd fall over. I think this was designed mainly for emergency. Matter of fact, it says 40 channel emergency radio, full 4 watts transmit power. So I think this is like you're putting your vehicle in the trunk or something, and if you have a breakdown, you could use this to contact people. Back in the 80s, now you got your cell phone, you can use your cell phone. And I did listen for about an hour. It doesn't have a search function, so you manually have to change each channel, which I did. And I didn't, that's interesting. A little bit of noise there. Now this slider says receiving range, and it says local and distance. I think this is like a squelch. So I've got it squelched now, and if I open it, there's open. So let me just scan the band. '40 channel. Nope. So what I did here was for about, a minute, I was just selecting each of the channels. I heard music being played. There was nothing else. There was like 30 seconds of music. It stopped and it didn't come back. So I don't know if somebody was playing around or something. The testing I have done, which was very little, maybe an hour, of the CB channels, frequencies, I've not heard much. I've heard someone called the Brown Bomber, who was obviously, the term mosquito in there, was obviously trying to work skip. That's all I heard. So anyway, I got it for $8. I got this for $8. Again, it's pretty much obsolete, but it's just kind of a neat thing to play with. I'm sorry, that's the way I am. I just like tinkering with things that aren't necessarily the latest technology or not. I also, the same day, won an auction for a cute little replica radio, which I'll be showing you in upcoming shows. Again, it's just a novelty, just like this is a novelty today. Anyway, I think that's about it. Like I said, I got all the documentation, of which I have now, or had, because one of my subscribers sent me a documentation for his. And so now I got 2 sets of documentation. And the stuff he sent me had this temporary form that you fill out to get a license back then. And somebody told me back then it cost $8. This has the form that the gentleman filled out, and then you send half of it in or another piece in to get your license back. But you make a temporary license by entering your initial of your first name and initial of your last name, and then your zip code. That's how you used to do it to get a temporary license. Pretty cool. If you enjoyed the show, please give me a thumbs up and have a great day. Yeah. Bye-bye.